Last night we got ourselves the Taylor Horn Tucker and Stanley Johnson trade for Pat Bev. Now, a nice little article came out today by The Athletic discussing the trade market now for Donovan Mitchell with our man Donovan Mitchell still on the board. I want to hear your thoughts down below. Who's going to be trading for Donovan Mitchell? Why? And let's get right into it. So, like I said, Wednesday night, Jazz and the Lakers agreed to a deal in principle, a deal that should be consummated on Thursday, bearing any medical snags, according to league sources, that will send veteran guard Patrick Beverley to the Lakers for Taylor Horn Tucker and small forward/power forward Stanley Johnson. Obviously, Tony Jones of The Athletic wrote an article, and he uses the word the proverbial elephant in the room is a potential Donovan Mitchell trade. Where's that going to happen? So, let's talk about it and let's get right into it. So with this Donovan Mitchell news, alrighty, it gets a bit interesting due to the fact that this is what's going on. The Utah and Jazz and the New York Knicks have ongoing discussions, but those have not yielded progress to the point of a trade being imminent or agreed on principle, as the Jazz has been fielding offers from other teams. Thursday morning, The Athletic found out the Jazz have multiple offers on the table for Mitchell from teams other than the Knicks that they deem intriguing and worth pursuing, according to sources. These offers, sources say, the Jazz feel are worth pursuing should talks between Utah and the Knicks continue to stay stalled. Basically, Mitchell hasn't asked for a trade from the Jazz. He's never asked. But, and this is coming from sources that told The Athletic, if he were to be traded, there's three teams: the Knicks, the Brooklyn Nets, or the Miami Heat. Mitchell can't be traded to the Nets as long as Ben Simmons is on the roster, which makes that destination unlikely, and now even more unlikely with Durant staying. The Heat simply don't have the assets that the Jazz are looking for, which makes that destination unlikely. The Knicks obviously have the assets that the Jazz seek. Now there's two other teams, the Charlotte Hornets and the Wizards, that were rumored in there. Now sources say that the Jazz remain steadfast. They want a bushel of unprotected picks. Trading Beverley, one of a number of veterans that are currently on the roster for Horn, Tucker, and Johnson, sends a clear signal that the Jazz are going young this upcoming season. The Jazz continue to say they are comfortable with going into the season with Mitchell on the roster no matter who else is on the roster around him. They are committed to the lofty price they have set themselves, and if that price isn't met, they are good keeping him on the roster once training camp opens into the season, as he's under contract for 3 years, and he'll be 26 in September. Now, it's going to be interesting because I don't know how, obviously Taylor Horn Tucker fits in, as he doesn't fit Utah's time. He does fit Utah's timeline, but at the same time, he doesn't. As we know, Utah's previous front office regime was led by Dennis Lindsey, and they liked Horn Tucker out the game. And the current regime, Justin Zanuck, we don't know, but right now, he's going to have to fight, Mike Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Donovan Mitchell, Malik Beasley, Jared Butler, Leandro Balmaro, Nikhil Alexander, Walker, all for minutes, but he's still 21. So for me, and then Stanley Johnson is going to be all right. Just when we're looking at this, who are the teams that could be making the moves for Donovan Mitchell at this point? Because we've already excluded the Nets. I really think it's the Hornets or the Wizards, as the Wizards could offer a package, basically Kyle Kuzma, Isaiah Todd, Johnny Davis, and Corey Kesper, maybe even Denny Avdia. I think the deal that they can offer, and I think this is just a guy that the Wizards I'm putting less likely. But who could the Hornets offer? Right now, you got to get up to $30 million. And when I look at the Hornets roster, the Hornets do have young talent that could intrigue Danny Ainge. But this deal would have to be around probably Kelly Oubre. Well, right here, let's count it up. I would want PJ Washington, that's 5.8. I want James Bouknight, which is about 10.3 altogether. Throw me Kai Jones, that's going to be about, 13.2. And then throw in JT Thor, that's right there. We got ourselves 14.7. And so now we just need about 15.3. So if you just throw on Kelly Oubre right there, you just need $3 more million, and you could argue that throwing in, you know, Jalen McDaniels and Nick Richards would get you around there. So you get JT Thor, Nick Richards, Jalen McDaniels, Kai Jones, James Bouknight, PJ Washington, and Kelly Oubre. 7 players, technically, and maybe a few picks. I say that's the best deal besides the Knicks deal, as this deal would get you the young guys. Like, I just think right now the best deal out there, if you're not going to do the Knicks deal, is with the Hornets. Obviously, I'm a Wizards fan, so I'd be cool if the Wizards somehow traded Kuzma or somebody for him, but that's highly unlikely. So that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What would you guys do in this situation, and why? I do think it's rather strange what we're looking at, but hey, time will tell what will happen. So I hope you guys do have a great day. That's basically it from me today. But yeah, peace. Oh.